call the meeting to order. We can get started.
Look at her face.
I call this meeting to order. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I was had this role. Is there anything specific I need to say? I don't have Robert's rules in front of me. Just call the meeting to order. This meeting, January 18th meeting of the Citizen Police Review Board to order.
6:03.
And Charlie, will you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Pamela Corbett, Emma James, Brittany Spees, Kathy McLean, Michael Fraden,
I'm present.
Karen Bartoletti,
I'm here.
Annika Annette,
Here.
Warren Napper, Tambilla Covington,
Here.
Eusebio Velez,
Here.
Good. Thank you, Charlene. And now if we can have a poll of our summary of regular meeting minutes.
Do I need to do that as well? Yes. Hold on just a second.
Well, let me back up and ask, did everyone receive the copy of the meeting minutes and have you had an opportunity to review them? Okay.
I did.
Now, I did see one correction down in item 5. Our next meeting is on January 18th, not April 18th. So that's the only correction I have to offer. Madam Vice Chair, you can ask if anyone else has any items they'd like to correct.
Are there any additional corrections to the summary of the meeting minutes from our last meeting on October 19th?
Oh, Mr. Napper is coming in. Reverend Napper.
I don't think there are any suggested edits.
We can move for approval.
So I'd move that the summary of minutes from October the 19th be approved. All in favor say.
Wait a minute, you have to ask for the motion.
Oh, okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
That
So moved.
for the minutes be approved.
Okay, so that's Karen.
Karen.
I move that they be submitted with, or they be approved with the edits suggested.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Emma. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and all in favor? Any opposals? Okay, thank you. So we can move on to the next item, which is introductions. I think we are all, there are no new people here tonight. I think everyone's kind of been around the block at least once with this body. So if there's nothing that, we can move on down to the third item, Madam Chair, or Madam Vice Chair.
Which is the review of quarterly reports.
Yes.
And I believe, is there someone here from the police department?
Yeah, Crystal was on. Crystal is on.
Is it Officer or Richard?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm here.
good evening.
Good evening. So, in reviewing the minutes, I think, or the stats, I think you guys got this in your email, but for the citizen complaints for last quarter, we had 2 total complaints for last quarter, and those 2 complaints, sorry, I'm trying to see this and it's very small, are still open. We currently have a total of 21 cases open for last year related to citizen complaints. And then on the internal or departmental complaints on the second document for last quarter, we had 1, and we currently have 3 that are still open for last year.
Can you share with us what the nature of the citizens' complaints are?
So it's the ones for the last quarter are related to, I'm trying to see where it's ticked. One is related to use of force, and one is related to treatment of prisoners. And then for the
Okay.
departmental one, it is related to truthfulness.
And in the last year or two, have we seen any pattern either against whom the complaints are launched or the type of complaints within the department?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just wondering, are there any patterns either against which officers' complaints are launched or the type of complaints? Like, is there a pattern of a lot of complaints for treatment of prisoners, for example, or, whatever categories there are? Or are they pretty much random? What does the department think?
So I'd have to look at a report to see if there's any patterns specifically and compare it to other years, because I've only been in this role since April of last year. But I'm unaware of any patterns that anyone told me about prior.
Okay. Can we ask that be looked into to see if there are any patterns either in the nature of the complaints? And I know you can't tell us who, but whether there's patterns against certain officers, can we have that reported on next meeting?
We would have to inquire. We typically only receive in this report the type of complaint. And so I don't know if there is a way to pull a report that would indicate if it was against a particular officer. But I can certainly ask that question for you.
Thank you. And again, is there a pattern of complaints, even if it's various officers, like treatment of prisoners or whatever? I just think we would do a better job if we understood a little deeper what's going on. So I appreciate you asking.
Okay, and when you say, is there a pattern, you mean as it relates to the allegation or just the category of complaint?
I'm not sure I understand the distinction. Isn't an allegation a complaint?
Well, correct. But if you look on the report, it has kind of different categories: conduct, courtesy, directives. And so when you say, is there a pattern, I just want to make sure I'm asking the correct question. And so are you saying, is there an uptick in one particular category versus another?
Yeah, I guess. And even within that certain, I don't know how much specificity you have underneath those categories, but it would certainly be, I think, part of our job to know if, there's certain kinds of complaints that are being registered repeatedly. And I can send you an email. I don't want to take up this whole meeting. Sorry, guys.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Are there any additional questions on the quarterly report at this time? Don't see any hands. I don't think there are any questions. It looks like Mr. Napper is connecting to audio, but I don't know if he had any questions.
Like his audio is not connected, it's just his, oh, he's on now.
He's
Okay.
connected now.
He came off and came back on.
Right. Thank you, Officer Pritchard. I guess at this point we can move to the next agenda item. Is that correct?
Yes, this was the information item.
Right. So the next agenda item is new business, and the report of the nominating committee and selection of officers is where we are now.
Okay, would someone from the nominating committee like to give us a summary of our slate of officers? well, I can go kind of down what I have. And as in years before, the January meeting is the regular meeting in which the Citizens Police Review Board elects its chair and vice chair. And Citizens Police Review Board is unique in that the vice chair doesn't automatically become the chair. The vice chair serves in place of the chair should the chair not be available. Terms are for 1 year. And I just want to point out for these particular positions, Charlene and I are the support staff to the chair. So it's not a situation where you will be left out on your own without any sort of idea how it works. I think this may be the first year where we've had a lot of interest in people willing to serve as vice chair, but not chair. So as of right now, the list of vice chair candidates I have is Dr. Velez, Miss Annette, Miss Spees, and Miss Covington. And I currently do not have anyone who has reached out or responded to the nominating committee indicating that they would be willing to serve as chair for this upcoming year. And as with all of our nominating committee reports, we also allow self-nominations from the floor. So if there's anyone who is wanting to do that at this time, please feel free.
I actually want to expound on something before I recant my self-nomination for vice chair.
Okay.
It's come to my attention that, this is my last term. This is my last term and it expires April of this year. So I don't think that it would be effective for me to even nominate myself because you would have to revisit this again. So I really, as a part of the nominating committee, I wanted to just, and I don't know if I can do this or not, I'm just saying this, that I wanted to actually just nominate Timbila Covington as chair. And this will be my last meeting. So that's all that I really had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Covington, are you willing to accept Ms. Annette's nomination to serve as chair of this body for the upcoming year?
I would like to nominate Brittany Spees as the committee chair.
Okay, so I do I understand that to mean you're declining Ms. Annette's nomination?
As chair, yes.
Okay, and still willing to serve in the vice chair capacity?
Yes.
Or to be considered or on the slate
To be considered, yes.
Okay. Okay, and Ms. Spees, you have heard the nomination of Ms. Covington. Are you willing to accept that nomination to serve in the capacity of chair?
I am going to tentatively decline. I have a lot of obligations on my plate right now. But I know that this is not really time consuming. So I'll connect with you all about the because I know our meetings are they quarterly?
Yes. Meetings third Thursday of the month.
It's tentative, but right now I'm going to say I'll decline. I don't know if there's anyone else that would be willing to serve as chair. But I think I would decline.
I'm open to being considered for chair. I've chaired the Human Relations Commission for about 2 years a while back.
So at this point, I'm going to nominate Mr. Velez to serve as chair.
Okay, and is my understanding, Dr. Velez, that you accept that nomination to be
Sure.
considered?
Yeah.
Okay, and so just so I want to make sure I understood, Miss Annette, are you saying that you wanted to withdraw your name for the consideration for vice chair?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. And Ms. Spees, do you still want to be considered for vice chair, or would you like to remove your name from the slate?
You can remove my name from the slate because I think that there are several other nominees, if I'm not mistaken. Well, now that Dr. Velez I've nominated him as chair. I think Ms. Covington, and is there anyone else?
It was Dr. Velez and Ms. Covington, but if
Okay,
but
well, I think that we've got a
situation,
slate
have
though.
one-on-one.
Okay.
We have a nominee for each category.
Yes, ma'am.
And is there any other consideration or any other nominations? Nope. Okay, then Charlene, could you please call the roll so we can accurately reflect the, let me back up. Madam Vice Chair, may I have a motion to accept the nominating committee's recommendations for Dr. Velez to serve as chair and Ms. Coven to serve as vice chair for the 2024, for the year 2024?
So moved.
I'm sorry.
Okay, was that
This is
Karen?
I moved.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
Karen. And then may I have a second?
Second.
Was that you, Brittany?
I'll second. Yes,
Okay.
if that's appropriate and in order.
Okay. Okay, so then it's been moved and seconded. And now we can proceed with the vote. So Charlene, would you please call the roll so we can accurately record the votes of the committee?
Pamela Corbett. Emma James. Brittany Spees. Kathy McLean. Michael Fraden. Karen Bartoletti. Annika Annette. Warren Napper. Tambila Covington.
Yay.
Eusebio Velez.
Yes.
Okay. And did Mr. Masacampo, I didn't hear you. Did you vote yay or nay? Yay. Okay. Thank you.
Hear Michael Fraden.
He took his
Oh, you
hand.
did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So then thank you very much for your willingness to serve. That was unanimous vote for Dr. Velez to serve as the chair for the Citizens Police Review Board for the year 2024. And Ms. Covington will serve as vice chair in the event that Mr. Velez or Dr. Velez is not able to be present at a meeting. And so for our last order of business, as I mentioned in the email that contained your meeting materials, we have received an appeal that will need to be heard, and that would be considered a special meeting. And so I asked you all to kind of take a look at your calendars to select a date. Because the meeting is a case review meeting, it will have to be in person. So I wanted you all to be aware of that when looking at dates and times that you may be available. Of course, the meeting will occur here at City Hall, but just wanted to let you know that it would be an in-person meeting, or will be an in-person meeting. My calendar.
How long do you think the meeting would require? Is it an hour, 2 hours, 5 minutes?
I think the last one we had maybe lasted about an hour and 15 minutes. It wasn't
Okay,
a long
thank you.
meeting, but it varies based on the substance of the investigation, how many officers are involved, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't, in reading this one, the investigation documents are pretty short. And so I
Okay.
don't anticipate this would be one of the ones that would require more than an hour. I would say an hour and a half at the absolute most, but I don't think that it
Okay.
would require that long.
Thank you. Just so for looking for a block of time. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I will say that the meeting time is not, it doesn't have to be on a Thursday. So if there's another day of the week that would work better for you all, that's fine with us as well. And so I think that will put us, let's see, either end of January or that first full week in February. Is there a preference?
For me, it just depends on the specific day.
Okay. Is there a day that kind of works better for the bulk of people? Like is Thursday, I mean, is Thursday, some days, for some people, Thursday is a very light day, and for some days, Thursday is kind of like pre-Friday.
The meeting would be in person from 6 to 7-ish.
Or it could be moved, it could start at 5. If you were able to be available, it could be in the middle of the day. We have flexibility on the time, but we just find that because a lot of our board members have day jobs, usually that 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock time period tends to work best because it allows people to commute here from work.
I could do that the Monday or Tuesday, either that last week of January or the first week of February. But Thursday evenings on both of those weeks, I have meetings already in that window of time.
On that first week of February, I am out Monday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Thursday,
But could do
Friday.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Would be available in the first week of February if everyone else can do that.
Do you have a time that works? What time are you looking at?
Same time for me. I mean, any time in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Are we talking about the 5th and the 7th?
6th and the 7th for me. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, Tuesday. I thought you said Monday. I can do Tuesday or Wednesday that week.
I can do Tuesday. Wednesday will, I'll have a conflict.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Emma James, your hands up.
Oh, I'm out of town that Tuesday and Wednesday, the 6th and 7th.
Oh, okay.
What about that, the 30th of January, that Tuesday evening?
I can do the 30th of January at like 5:30.
That works for me.
I could do that as well.
Okay.
I would have to arrange for childcare if it's in the evening,
Okay.
but I could make it work.
Okay.
So we're proposing Tuesday, January 30th at 5:30, correct?
I could do later if that works for everybody. I'm open that evening. Whatever works.
So 5:30?
I 5:30 wouldn't work for me. I'd have to do,
Okay. 6?
Yeah, 6, or I maybe couldn't get to the, get downtown until 6:15 on Tuesday.
Okay, well, what we can do, since we have a day tentatively selected, is I can send out a poll to kind of see whether that's 6 o'clock, 6:15, 5:30, like of those times, which one is most likely to get us a quorum, as you know, or as you may not know, for our case reviews. We absolutely have to have a quorum present so that we can make a decision. So we want to make sure whatever day and time we select, it's going to work for the majority of the members so they can be present. So Charlene and I can kind of send out a poll, and then you all can just respond back with your availability, your preference, and then we can actually decide the time after we get that information back from you all. And that'll maybe give you an opportunity to kind of move some things around, or ask, or figure out, or take a closer look at your schedule to see if one works better for you than the other. But it looks like the 30th, Tuesday the 30th, is the date that works for the majority of the folks.
Okay, Keisha, Brittany sent a message that she had to hop off for another meeting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know.
So, okay, well, is there any other order of business or anything else?
So, real quick, I'm gonna mail out the packages tomorrow. For the appeal, I'll mail them out tomorrow.
Okay, so you all can expect to receive that information within the next few days.
Okay, and Miss Annette said tonight is her last meeting, right? Is that what she said?
Yes, this
Oh,
is my
okay.
last
I want to make sure I
meeting.
don't mail it to you. Okay,
No, it's fine. This is actually my last
just want to make
meeting,
sure.
and I just want to make sure I'm a part with some words. I've always said this, but the police review board has been a great experience because I've met, a lot of great people with different perspectives. But I'm gonna also keep saying that, like, this board is structured the way it is for a reason. And unless it goes through the proper channels of the state, to become a bill for the subpoena power, a lot of these things are going to keep reoccurring. If no one is willing to be the villain, that's how they're going to be interpreted anyway. I'm used to it. Then a lot of things are going to stay the same. And I champion for those who actually won't change, and that will not allow for fear to, keep them from doing that. And I just really encourage y'all to really push and push and push for more change, however that need be necessary, especially for, even police officers that make complaints internally that see things that we don't get to see. It has to be an even exchange. So I just want to leave with those words, and I wish y'all luck on this journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay,
Thank you.
well,
For
Dr.
your
Velez.
service.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're on mute. There you go.
I just wanted to appreciate Miss Annika for her service.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, well, it's your first official act as chair of the body. Dr. Bliss, would you please call for a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
So move.
Wait, what time is it? 6:33.
33. All right, thank you all. We'll be in touch with the poll regarding the meeting time, and as well as the meeting materials. You'll get those in the mail shortly.
Good night.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you.